If you want to avoid relapsing after quitting smoking, you must not do these 3 things. Hi beautiful, welcome to or back to my channel. Today we are talking about relapsing after quitting smoking and the 3 things you must avoid if you don't want that to happen. I'm talking from experience. I made 3 stupid mistakes that led to me relapsing, and I'm sharing these with you so that you don't have to make those same mistakes. Stay tuned. Before we jump in, if you want good vibes, make sure you subscribe and click the bell next to it so you never miss a video. And as always, if you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. So, the first thing you must not do if you want to avoid relapsing is spending too much time with other people who smoke. Bear with me, because what happens is we've not smoked for a long time, we're over it, we don't crave it anymore, we can't even believe we ever did smoke, all that stuff. And we think, you know, being around people who smoke is not a problem for us anymore because there's no way we're ever gonna get addicted again, so it's fine. But we don't realize just how powerful that addiction is and how little it takes to pull us off of that wagon. We are creatures of habit and of familiarity, and so when you have close people to you who are still smoking and you're around that a lot, you're kind of training your brain to still think that smoking is okay, and it still stays something that's familiar and comfortable to you, and it only makes the second and the third mistake that much easier to make, which I will get to in a minute. Now obviously we can't necessarily cut people off because they're still smoking. We have people who are close to us who smoke, you know. But then what I would say is just to ask them to kindly not smoke around you, or you remove yourself from the space when someone is smoking around you as much as possible. And even better than that, do get around people who don't smoke. You know, create a new familiarity for yourself. Be around people who have a different viewpoint on smoking, maybe people who have never smoked before in the first place, and then you're just going to change your programming when it comes to smoking cigarettes. It's all going to help, and it will all make sense when I explain mistakes 2 and 3. The second thing you must not do is social smoke, which may sound very obvious to you, but to me it wasn't. Because again, you think, I haven't smoked for so long, I'm out of the woods, it doesn't matter. You're still being around people who smoke a lot, and then when that party comes up or that stressful situation happens, you're around people who smoke, the temptation is there, and you think, I'll just have one, you know, I'll just smoke socially, just one, or just today, and then I'll go right back to not smoking. Like, it's not going to get me, I'm over it, I'll never be addicted again. That's what happened to me. I went to a music festival. It had been like 2 years since I'd touched a cigarette. The drinks were flowing, the music was vibing, sun was shining. I was like, you know what? F it, I'll have one. What's one gonna do? And then an hour later in the party, I was like, yeah, go on then, I'll have another one. You know, I'm not gonna start smoking again. It's all good, it's fine. It's just a one-off. And that Monday morning, I suddenly found myself in my car driving to the shop, and then I was at the shop, and then there was a box of cigarettes in my hand, and then I was a smoker again. It happens so easily. One cigarette is all it takes. And I remember the book that I read, the main mantra in it was not one more cigarette, not ever. And I didn't really understand why that mantra was repeated so many times. It was like, well, obviously, but now I understand the importance of that, because one truly is all it takes. Of course, there are people out there who can social smoke and then not touch them for months on end. I have friends like that. But it's rare, and especially if you're someone who has had a heavy addiction to it in the past, that one is all it takes to pull you right off of that wagon. So don't think to yourself, I'll just social smoke, I'll just have this odd one here and there. It's pointless. It's not worth the risk. Before we jump into the third and probably the most important tip, if you want good vibes, make sure you subscribe, and if you're liking this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. The third thing, even if you can't help but be around a bunch of people who smoke, and even if you do end up social smoking, having the odd one here and there, maybe you get drunk one night and you end up having one and you really regret it the next day, but it happens, okay, it happens. This one is non-negotiable. Do not at any point ever go and buy your own cigarettes for these social smoking occasions. So let's say you know that you're going out with your friends one night and you know you're probably going to have a cigarette along with your drink, so you go and buy a pack in anticipation for that. The minute you part with money to buy yourself a pack and you have that pack in your possession, before you know it, the whole pack's done and you're on to the next one. Most likely you are going to fall off of that wagon. You can't ever buy your own cigarettes, because the minute you do that, you've basically gone all the way back to the beginning of your process. That is the one thing that defines a smoker from a non-smoker, if you will. Like I said, I have friends who social smoke and you will never see them in the shop buying their own pack. They will literally just take one off of a friend if they happen to have one at that moment. They will never buy their own, so therefore they're never sitting at home alone smoking. They only smoke in social situations, which, like I said, I still don't recommend, because that only leads to this third mistake. But even if you do all the other things, don't buy your own. That was my biggest mistake. That was definitely what caused me to relapse. I mean, all three things, but that was definitely the worst thing that I could have done. It's the worst thing that you could do. So try to limit your time around other people who smoke. Try your best not to get into that, oh, it's only social smoking, I'll just have one. Not one more, not ever. And even if you do not ever buy your own. If you haven't seen my video on how to stop smoking cold turkey in the first place, definitely go and check that out, because the advice absolutely stands. Like I said, I didn't smoke for about 2 years cold turkey. It was my own deliberate, stupid choices that led to my relapse. So now that you have this video, hopefully you won't make the same mistakes and there will be no relapse for you anyway. And until the next video, I wish you health, wealth and high vibration.